my gosh, I can't put it anywhere else. That's gonna. Woo! Good morning, good morning. Welcome to another art stream. Been full of some technical issues this morning, so this could be a shorter stream today. And yeah, so that's always fun. Welcome. Just trying to get a couple other things checked out here. All right, we got our coffee, we got our stream. Let's roll. Trying to make sure everything looks good on screen. Let's see. Let's see how that goes. Okay. Anyways, hi, good morning. Like I said, it's been one heck of a technical issue morning for us over here. Okay, I think we're ready. All right. So, good morning, as I said like a million times. So today's stream, we're going to do a Druid Chicken as part of National Chicken Month this month. So super, super excited. This may be one of the more complicated drawings I've done. So just to show everybody, I started off with these sketches. So you can kind of see, just trying to have fun and loose and see where it goes. Because originally in my brain, this was what the idea I had. But then as I drew this one, I'm like, that's the one I'm gonna do. So then I went through and I sketched a bigger version with like the outfit and a few more details, and now we have a final drawing, and that's what we're gonna be working on today. So yes, got the coffee here. Oh, and always a try. I don't know if anybody else has this issue when drawing or putting pen to paper, but like the hardest thing to start off with is just starting, like getting that first stroke on there. So I am going to start with a marker. I saw this somewhere and I've adopted it to my own, where you put a layer of marker down and then you use the pencils to build up the detail. And it's just been nice because it doesn't tear up the paper. It gives me a chance to, like I said, add a little more detail, have a different color underneath there. Because I've learned I do love to layer the colors. So, um, so the Druid Chicken, this idea came up a while ago from it. Actually, the origins of this whole thing started from a cute frog. Now I have a website. Once again, still setting up Twitch, so there's going to be still getting there. But I have a website, www.taryngraceart.com, and on there I have a fantastical animal series. So what happened was I drew a cute little frog, which is also for sale, just a cute little baby frog sitting on a leaf. And it got a lot of responses. People wanted it. And so for the people that, first come, first serve, the people that weren't able to get it, I offered to draw them another version. So a person took me up on that and said, okay, cool. Since you're doing that, how about you do it to my D&D character? So could you give it a hat and could you give it a staff? And I was like, hell yeah, we're doing this. And I fell in love with that idea. So I started, I started doing random ones. I started having a cup on the side, and one was full of classes, one was full of different animals, and I would just randomly pull. So that's how in my collection of, oh shit, that was not supposed to be colored that way. In fact, I didn't even like decide what color that was going to be. Okay, that's fine. Happy accident, right? We'll just make that a shadow, even though there's going to be like a giant light here. So that's fun. Here we go. So, oh, so anyways, I had the different cups and would randomly pull a class and an animal, which is how I got a puffin witch doctor and a chinchilla bard. It was a fun way for me to kind of practice different textures and step out of my comfort zone. And it became kind of a fun series, but also I get distracted easily or like get these random ideas, so I really haven't revisited the next one. There is a sketch for a kangaroo ranger, which isn't too bad, and a drunken bat monk. So hopefully I could do that. And I will say I have learned with the now that we're doing these streams, it kind of forced me to do this. Like I sat down and I created this chicken in a matter of hours, which for me is really good. So I'm hoping to expand the fantastical creature universe with more of these guys. So the power on this Druid chicken is gonna be that they can call baby chickens. Hence the little chicklings there, and the big mystical calling upon. I wish I could take credit for that idea. It was actually my husband's. So I'm taking his idea. Yeah, I'm probably being really like dainty with this marker right now. I've got the detail underneath and it shouldn't even be a thing, but here I am. I think there's still, starting stream, they're still like trying to be okay and trying to be natural and not worry about it. So yeah, whoops. And not only do I have a website with prints and originals and whatnot available with these fantastical creatures, I do also have an apparel shop with threadless. It's going to be threadless Taunting Wabbit. Unfortunately, I'm not big enough where you can just search me. I'm not in their search bar yet, but one day I will be. So you'll just have to do like threadless dot or dash Taunting Wabbit. And maybe one day I'll get Stream Elements going and then that website will automatically pop up. Or I'll get everything in my about page ready. That's probably a more efficient way to go, huh? Get that the about page set up, which is on my to-do list. And my to-do list is spread out amongst lots of post-it notes because that's how I roll. And yes, we are also going musicless today until I get that set up. I kind of wanted to have pirate software on in the background so I could still support his stream. So I don't have my desktop audio on. All right, so there is the basic first thing. I don't have my eraser up here. Okay, we're gonna pause for half a second, just hang out, have any questions in chat, please feel free and ask, and I'm gonna grab my fancy erasers. So hold on just a second. All right, I am back. Gotta love the rubber erasers, right? These are great. Fun fact, I once had a dog who liked to eat them. trying to do my best not to like breathe heavily into the microphone after just running downstairs to get this thing. So this too was another trick that I started seeing online between TikTok and Instagram where you just take your rubber eraser and roll it across the pencils. So it's still there, but not quite as predominant. Makes it so the color, it doesn't seep through on the color. It's very nice. Very, very nice. I didn't realize how much the camera was shaking. All right. Where's my reference? So, fun little fact, the staff, this little gem here in the staff, I have it to be a corn kernel just because it's a chicken and why not? So hopefully I can make it like super glowy and pretty and like just awesome. All right. Hello, chicken reference. And then some. You know, the other hard part's going to be trying not to like block the camera. There we go. Yeah, I still haven't figured out what color I wanted to make the cape. I mean, a green seems pretty logical for a druid, right? But I don't know. But it does make sense. Classic back and forth. All right. And if we have any questions, feel free to ask them in chat and I will get to them. Chicken. I should have looked up fun chicken facts for this. We'll see. So I must know, chat or when I put this up and somebody comes back and watches it and comments on it, for these videos, do you prefer to see the artwork from start to finish on a stream? Or are you, like last time I stopped the stream early just trying to get used to everything and I was getting frustrated with the picture and then I finished the picture off screen. So I'm kind of curious, which way would you prefer an artist or someone to finish their work online or not online or a little bit of both? There's probably a way for me to like pull pull the chat. So right now I'm just kind of layering in colors. These things are just kind of, these little head pieces they have are kind of randomized and don't really seem to have much detail. So I am right now just adding a bunch of color. Did I have a blender? Oh, I did not bring up my blender. Yeah, sorry. My setup is normally downstairs in the basement, but now that I've decided to stream, I'm upstairs in my room. That way my work from home husband doesn't get, disturbed during his meetings. Especially since my sister and I were talking about, I think, hamster biting nipples last, or nipple biting hamsters last time. So work, his work meetings probably don't want to hear that. Okay. And yes, I'm going to quickly go run and get my other favorite tool, the blender. So hang on. Dun, 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 dun. right, let's try that again. After again, again, again. All right, where am I? Okay, blender, super favorite. Love the blender. Oh, mofo. These things are so sensitive and constantly breaking. I have a whole bag full of pencil sharpened tips that have fallen off just so maybe I can use them for something. Or my sister's gotten into resin. Maybe I could ask her to make like earrings or a necklace out of these or another piece of art. But I think that's so frustrating. Okay, we're gonna like darken this thing up. I am really gonna like, you can't see me in the stream. Okay. Yeah, we'll just finish this. We know what color it is. It's weird though, the reference pictures I have really don't show the texture of this, so for right now we'll lay down the color and then we'll go from there. I mean, to be fair, I'm really excited to get to the feathers, so it's always something that can be you can go back and do. And really, at the end of the day, it is a Druid chicken, which isn't exactly a common breed that's running around town right now. So yeah, just kind of building up the color here, hoping that the shapes make sense. Hoping. That's usually what half of my artwork is. It's like, please, 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 please. There's also the fun stages of like, this is great, I'm so excited, and then oh, this is turning out really nice, and then I can't look at it. I hate it. It's absolutely terrible. What was I thinking? And then I have to force myself to work through that and eventually get back to like, oh yeah, this isn't bad. What was I thinking? Why was I so hard on myself? Like never fails every time. Dear chicken. What other powers should this chicken have? See, I don't like that. That needs to be more blended. You know, the nice thing about streaming is half the time I'm usually talking to myself anyways. And most of the time I try to internalize it. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Today we are coloring. We are coloring a Druid Chicken. So this is part of my Fantastical Animals series that started out with a commission for a wizard toad, and has turned into much, much more. And since it's National Chicken Month, we're going to do a Druid Chicken. leave any questions in the chat. I am still an early streamer, so like all the things, uh, stream elements to pop up websites and all that info, like all of that is non-existent right now, as is music. So we're just gonna get better. That's all there is. But for right now, please enjoy the coloring in of the chicken. So this is just kind of the first layering of colors. I don't really have a method. I like colors and I kind of have an idea where the shadows and details are supposed to be. So unfortunately with my reference photos I have, there's not too much detail on the texture of what the red parts on the chicken are going to be. So we're just going to leave that colored in for now. Because really I want to get to the feathers. The feathers are going to be fun and take a while. So this druid chicken's particular power is it can summon baby chickens. So I've showed this before. This is the final sketch. These are the beginning sketches where I was just putting down my ideas and just playing around with the shapes and whatnot. And it was kind of in my brain, this is what it was going to look like. But when I drew this little guy, I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. So then I went back, drew a bigger one with a little more detail and the outfit and everything. And now here we are. I drew a final version that we are coloring with the baby chicks. Like, how super adorable. So this whole idea, I mean, besides, the fact that D&D and magic exist, the idea to do these fantastical creatures came about when I did a color pencil rendering of a baby frog on a leaf. Super cute. And it got a lot of interest. And from that interest, I offered to draw one for somebody, and they said, well, that's awesome. Sure. But since you're redoing this whole picture, could you possibly do it to look like my D&D character? I was like, heck yeah, let's go. So this little baby frog turned blue and got a hat and a staff. And I had so much fun doing it and trying, the challenge of doing these new textures that I don't normally do was a lot of fun and I wanted to continue it. So I started randomly drawing names of animals and classes from a cup to see how they would come out. And that's how this came to be. That's also how I have in my shop a puffin witch doctor, a chinchilla bard, and then I went ahead and did another wizard toad who is more grumpy and just amazing. So my goal is to expand that universe. And not only that, I would love to learn how to crochet so I could make these creatures into little plushies because I think that'd be fabulous. So any questions, feel free to write them out. I am here hanging out. Tell me what you're drinking. Tell me what you're up to. Now we are going to add, just to have some fun, because his little like magic power is going to be a bluish hue. Well, you can't really see that. I swear it's there. I swear I did it. It's going to make it look a little more purple. All right. So Druid Chicken here is in celebration of National Chicken Month. There's also a streamer, I might be related to her, maybe. She is doing a charity stream this month for her to celebrate her birthday. So if you want to check out Pesto Mystic, she is going to be doing streams all month long and everything's going to go to charity. I know she's been donating to the Trevor Project. I don't know if anything else is gonna, if she's gonna switch that around or if that's the main one for the month. You know, this red is fun, but I really think we're gonna go ahead and switch to the feathers. Dun, dun, dun. Chicken, chicken feathers. Chicken wing, chicken wing. Da, 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 da. Is it weird and wrong that I actually have chicken wings in the fridge for lunch? I think my Druid chicken would be pretty ticked off about that. Or do you think a Druid chicken would be self-aware and realize it's part of a food chain and understands that? And then it turned into like a Chick-fil-A thing where it's constantly fighting for people to eat more cows. And when that happens, then the great cow chicken war happens. Nobody talks about the great chicken cow war. And then that ties into the Diablo cow level somehow. Like that was the cows made that their sanctuary from the chickens, where they're plotting their next attack. All right. Here, chicky, chicky, chicky. So I'm leaving the eyes kind of open just because I will eventually, I'm going to have those blue as well since he's, or she is casting this spell. All right, feather, feather, feathers. Feathers. They're so pretty. They're such a, like, a hen's feathers are such a, like, this nice golden color that's gorgeous. Anybody else keep like that little piece of paper underneath their main work so you can remind yourself what color you have in your hand? Okay, super light. I think we need a brown. All right. If my head gets in the way, I apologize. I am going to try to be self-aware. You know what? We're going to go dramatic. Just to really, I'm trying to get better at that as an artist, is really popping highlights and darks. Actually, I'm trying to like cover all of my all of the basic aspects as an artist to try to get better. Like, oh yeah, I need to do better at light and dark. Oh, I could do better with color wheel. I could do better with perspective. It just like snowballs. The most important question of the day is what should this druid chicken be called? What is her name? And what is her mission? And what is her favorite color? I'm gonna say this is just me on like barely a cup of coffee. Wait till I've had a monster. All right. right, let's hope that it doesn't break. Do not break. I'm also going to ask the chat, are the shadows obnoxious? Are those obnoxious to the stream or not? Like it only looks like they're prevalent when I'm doing something like sharpening a pencil, but I just want to see if I can make it more enjoyable for people. I will certainly do my best within reason. A phrase I have very much learned to add since becoming a mom. Within reason. It's a good phrase to have. Pew pew, drawing a chicken. It's super magical. Pew, 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 pew. So the other creatures I have in this series, the wizard toad and the chinchilla bard, are not only available on my website between prints and stickers, but also available as apparel. Which is at Threadless, but you'll have to link specifically search for. I don't even think you could search for me. I think you have to put in my website. I'll get on that. I will get on that. It's on my today's to-do list. What do you think, guys? Is this looking like some feathers over here? Or is it just looking like a massive shadow? I don't know. That's kind of cool. Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to the chat. Right? I am so excited for the baby chickens. They just seem so adorable. So hello, yes, we are drawing a Druid Chicken today well, we're coloring in a Druid Chicken for National Chicken Month. And the Druid's power is to pull in baby chickens. Actually, here, I'll show you. This was my thought process right here. These were my preliminary sketches. In my brain, this is what I was going to do. But after I did the sketches, this is what I went with. There's a national everything, friend. So after I picked out what I wanted to do, I made a bigger one with all the gizmos and gadgets and everything. And this is where we are. Yeah, I was looking up stuff. Oh, rooster. I have a animals and top hat series. And I have a rooster. Because why not? Why not have animals and top hats? My sister was always pushing, or was kind of asking me and pushing me for my direction and what my branding was. And it's like, well, I guess it's animals between mythical creatures and animals and top hats and just like my birds in general. I'm trying to think. I had researched what the national months were going to be ahead of time for, like social media purposes and whatnot. And for the life of me, I can't remember much for next month. Though I think I also stopped because next month's going to be Inktober. There is a national like drink coffee day, I think at the end of the month. So that's always a good one for me. Really, really hoping for good things with this rooster. This might be the most or this hen. I'm sure, yeah, it's got to be a hen. It's got babies. Um, with this Druid chicken, this is probably going to be the most detailed picture I've done. Like, I did a little bit with the witch doctor puffin. I'm starting to move that way too. And there was when I joined Threads, a lot of people were doing their own monthly themes, and that was pretty cool. I would love to do one of those. Are you going to do one this coming month? Witchtober would be fun. I know next year I want to participate in the mermaid one. I think it's Mermay. That would be like a fun, creative, oof, massive luck to you. Massive sending all of the help your way. Portfolio just, those are rough. Who were you presenting it to? Or can you say? If you feel comfortable, you can. If not, that's okay too. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Remember, my portfolio was a shit show. That's cool. I wish I had some worldly advice I can give you. But are you just graduating school or trying to get a job in general? I went to school for media arts and animation, but there was kind of this wide-eyed, hey, I want to do animation. And then when I got to the school, they're like, there's all these different like subcategories you can do. And it kind of blew my mind. I'm like, well, wait, I wasn't expecting that. I'm not exactly sure. Dude, that's way better. Trust me. I think most of the programs shut down by the government anyway, so. But yeah, I didn't know what I wanted. I like didn't know the exact, but then they kept giving you, um, the generic stuff. Like here's modeling. Well, I'm like, well, it's good to have, but if I wanted to do something else, and then what's funny is I wanted to do visual effects, but they didn't have any programs or classes for that. So my portfolio was just like, I'm effing done, and I want to figure out my own way now. Thank you. They really do. Like, there wasn't like a listing or like, hey, when you're entering college, this is what you should be thinking of. And back then, I won't say how old I am, but back then, the resources weren't that great either, which is why my school got in trouble. They promised, jobs and help and all this in small classes, and that just did not happen. Yeah, but man, the things on YouTube and Instagram, and I should explore what other artists are doing on Twitch to see what there's developers on here now. So, oh, well, that's good to know. We had those massive books that you could buy at Barnes and Noble for like $70. Which still, at the end of the day, was would probably have been a better investment than bothering to go to college. And I mean, seriously, at the end of the day, by the time you get a job, the school isn't even worth putting on your resume. And all they care about is what you've done or if you've been working on the side or like if you've been trying to work on your passion. It's also nice that we live in a world where things can be remote. So it's not just like, hey, I live in the middle of nowhere. I'm never going to get a job in what I went to school for. Where now there's more open resources. Not that I still have a job in those anyway. Oh, it's too funny. I do I do love that the new coming generations, like there's a chance to pave your own way and to make your passion your career. I had that same thought. I was like, tattooing's kind of cool. Yes. Yeah, and now I don't even put it on my resumes. It's so funny how things were so uptight, like going into school and everything, and now it's just like, well, no, that's not how. That didn't need to be my highest priority. So I'm hoping I can instill those things to my daughter and like give her the opportunity to explore the things she wants. Or like if you don't, you could always pivot. It is never too old to find your new passion. Isn't that crazy how something like that is so mentally like such a mental wall block? It's crazy. But I'm glad you got to get over that too and you're reaching for it. It's so crazy. Yeah, I definitely wish I was allowed like some time to explore. I mean, even now, it like not gonna say I'm getting close to 40 and I still feel like I'm still figuring things out as to like who I am or where I'm going and what I'm doing. And of course, some days are rougher than others. It's just gonna be. Okay, you're a very colorful chicken, but I don't know if the texture of the feathers is coming out the way I wanted it to, or the color. Yeah, I'm gonna be very interested to see how Alpha, yeah, Gen Alpha, how they grow up and they deal with the workforce and what changes and what goes on. That'll be a fun social societal thing to sit back and watch. Oh, I was saying like at my I'm a little bit older now since when I went to college, but like even now I'm still trying to figure out who I am and what I'm doing and why and what like just still figuring things out and I still have questions and like I thought at this point I would know everything about who I am and what I'm doing and I don't. And that's okay. And like I was saying, like some days are rougher than others. But friends and family have really helped. It's good to have that support system. Hmm. All right, chicken feathers. We need, you're not coming out the way I want you to. Right. I also hate calling myself an artist. I don't know. I like in my head, there's always that pretentious. wanting to be in like the New York Met kind of, when you say artist, is the visual that comes to my head. I'm like, that's not, I just do me. Like, whatever comes to my head. I might be doing this today, and in 2 hours, I might have this weird idea with markers that I will want to do. Like, I don't have a roadmap. So I try to refer to myself as more of a creator. Yeah, I'm really kind of surprised the cats aren't in here. I share my art room with the cats as their safety space since we have two dogs, and I thought they would like a door that they could hide behind that the dogs can't get them, or like they have their own little space. I'm kind of surprised both of them aren't in here right now. That's a really good self-observation. I feel like that's half the battle is no is being honest with ourselves, and then we go from there. I know definitely like trying to organize the art life and try to make it pay bills. I'm learning more about what I need or how I need to lay information out or like, just to-do lists. Some days I need to write everything out and let my brain explode, and some days I need to like categorize it into different post-it notes. And one day I knew I could feel that my brain was going to beat myself up no matter what I did. So I did an anti-to-do list and wrote down everything I got done that day. So then my brain could leave me alone. Chicken wing, do 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 do, something macaroni. Gonna make a chicken. Yeah, I really wish. I have not been officially diagnosed with ADHD yet. I tried once, and this is what happened. I got the number and the reference from my doctor. I give the number a call, and they're like, oh no, we don't do that kind of evaluation here. Give this number a call. So I give that number a call after, breathing heavy and trying to build up the courage to make a phone call in the first place. And I call the second number, and they're like, no, 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 we don't do that here, but you could call this number. And it was the first number I called. And at that point, I was so frustrated and angry. I haven't tried. I was like, you know what? Fine. You guys are going to put me on some drugs anyways. And the person that they were trying to reference me to, I knew didn't have a great reputation in helping. So it's like, okay, we're just going to try to be more self-aware and go from there. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, to-do lists have been big. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's really helped. I think for me, it's just writing. I know everybody's different. I know, but for me, it was writing things down just in whatever the way I needed to that day. And I always try to not be hard on myself, which is, hard. Like telling somebody to relax. Just doesn't work that way. I will say though, making the decision to stream art has been very nice because this whole fantastical animal series, like been wanting to expand on it, but everything else piles on top and I just haven't gotten to it. So being like, hey, I'm gonna stream a Druid Chicken. Like I had this thing drawn up and ideaed out and sketched within by yesterday. So it's like cool. I like this push. Might be a little stressful, but I like the push. Ooh, piano's a nice relaxing. That's neat. Are you one of those who can like see the music, feel the music, have the music like translate onto your art? Yeah, who Pirate Software was talking about that. Like if you have ADHD, you need that immediate gratification to help with tasks, which I will say for sure, like if I get a text, I can read it no problem. If I get like a three paragraph text, I set my phone down and I don't read it for a couple weeks and then I'm like, oh, sorry. You overwhelm my brain and I didn't want to. I mean, even today I wrote down getting Starbies just because it's the triple star today. When I get those points for when I can't afford coffee. Oh. Now it's bothering me that I haven't drawn the beak yet. I need to draw the beak. Oh, on camera it's looking goldenish. Up front, it's not. That's funny. It's like that movie Soul. Like that was the biggest thing I got from that movie was that in the zone moment. Oh my gosh, my stomach's already growling. I guess I skipped breakfast. Whoopsies. Oh well. We'll get there eventually. Ooh. I should look that up for my daughter. I have a young one, and there's not really a neat way, or there's not really a way for to like take her to the local music place and like have her experience, like have her try out different instruments. So maybe doing something like that would help introduce and like see if there's something that sparks her interest. Like I have a viola, but and a guitar, but they're adult sized. So they just kind of sit on her lap and she plucks the strings. Oh boy, this is the part where I'm nervous. Gonna try this. Gonna try working on the beak. Oh, that's cool. That sounds like a lot of fun. Plus, anything to get her away from like right now, she's starting to get into things like Roblox, and can't say I'm a fan. Her playing Doom, I have no problem with. Her playing Roblox with this open online thing, no, thank you. I think we have one somewhere in the garage. My sister gave me one. I'm definitely gonna look into that. Thank you for the suggestion. That's cool. Yeah, definitely a big supporter of the arts and more exposure to it. Even better. We're in a big Matilda and Greatest Showman streak right now. Like that's all she wants to listen to. And Hoist the Colors. We recently introduced her to the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. So she took it very seriously. So what mediums do you like to work in? What did I do? Oh my gosh, did I see? I just distracted myself. I'm working on the beak, not the feathers. I really want this beak texture to come out right. Where's my dark brown? There you are. Saying earlier, it was pretty funny how I have chicken wings for lunch. Kind of ironic. So the next ones that I have lined up for this series, it's a drunken monk bat. Also another idea of my husband's that I'm stealing, and a oh shoot, what was that second one? The Kangaroo Ranger, which has been sitting on the sketch has been sitting on my iPad forever. Dude, storyboarding's so much fun. I that was one of my favorites in the day just because it was so sketchy, but yet you got to tell a story and play around with the visuals and the like perspective and whatnot. Like I really enjoyed that. It's definitely evolved and is insane now. Like people aren't just drawing on post-it cards anymore. They're making full-on movies and animatics, especially for things like, Into the Spider-Verse. I I'm all over. I am so it was kind of funny after college and like wandering around. So I went to college in Chicago and became broke and tired of living like paycheck to paycheck. So I came back home and moved in with my parents until I could, find a job, pay off loans and all that stuff, which I did. It's totally awesome. Um, but there was still that lostness of like, what am I doing? How do I do this? How do I be? I still want to be successful. I still want to be creative. What do I do? How can I make this happen? And like this weird haphazard, I'm gonna do this. Wait, I'm gonna work on my resume. Wait, I'm gonna work on my portfolio, but what projects do I need to do? Like it's a weird, lost, yeah, all over the place kind of thing. And one day I was bored and started pen drawing a bunny, which then led into like, oh, that was kind of fun. Let's see how I can do with color pencils. And then I did a blue jay. I'm like, whoa, that didn't suck. It looks like a blue jay. Let's do another bird. Okay, let's try a frog. Let's try a snake. And then now it's like, oh, I went from going to school for visual effects and animation, or wanting to do visual effects, and I started drawing birds. And then that led into these druid animals. And in the meantime, my sister also got me back into collecting Pokemon cards for some reason, because I guess I don't like money or paying bills. And so when you collect those, you tend to get a lot of energy cards. So I've been cutting those and making art out of those. So yeah, I'm mostly traditional. I guess the short, yeah, the short answer would be mostly traditional. Traditional and animals. Oh, I do really enjoy drawing on my iPad though. I just haven't figured out that style or that technique or like way to transfer how I draw traditionally and how I build up my colors and whatnot. I haven't been able to properly translate that into digital. So poor digital. It's just sitting there. I do also have on my iPad, I did start making custom emojis, which I can't wait to somehow get on here and build up because they're super cute. And I want to make like a special one for like the first 200 followers or something. We'll see. Do you do streaming as well, or are you just kind of dot dot dot? I do that a lot. I like stop my sentences because I didn't have a finished thought process. Like, do you stream? Question mark. It's just that practice, right? It's legit at the end of the day. If there's one thing the Boomer Nation got right, it's just practice. Hands-on practice is best. Nice. I'll definitely have to check you out. I kind of figured like even if it's, I'm never going to be like popular and that's not the important thing. It's like it's just nice to have company while arting. I'm going to be arting anyways. I might as well. Oh, there you go. That's awesome. I'll definitely check it out. But yeah, it's like, gonna be arting anyways. Might as well stream it and see what happens. It would be nice to make the passion be the main job. So do you draw characters or original characters? Yeah, this thing's starting to look like it's smiling and it's kind of creeping me out. We'll get some different yellows. I've thought about that too. Like, why not, right? What do we got to lose? Let's make some games. Especially, well, the streamer I mentioned before, Pirate Software, his Discord has a lot of help and references on how to start with that coding and gaming. I love that show. That show is it's so wholesome and fun. And then it also makes me realize like just how uncreative I am when it comes to playing Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, we finished it. It's so cute. I mean, besides, what happens to the sister, she probably didn't appreciate that, but it's still overall, it's really cute. Ooh, that's a purple I wasn't doing. Nice. Didn't I have? Pretty sure I had like a weird dark red. Yeah, I used it up there, dark purple. Son of a. Whatever. Fine. Gonna have some fun. We'll just do this one. No, now it's gonna bug me. I know I had a weird red, like purple, dark one. I still have to finish the Sailor Moon Cosmos movie. I did the first one, and like as much as I love Sailor Moon, I'm the hardcore old school 90s version, so it's really hard to watch some of these new ones as much as I love them. Weird. Can't be this one. You're brown, or are you? Yeah, you're brown. Where I lost a pencil. I don't know where it went. Okay, move along. Yeah, I still have not yet watched. It's on my list. Demon Slayer. It's kind of hard getting into new ones when I want to rewatch like all the old ones, like Inuyasha and Full Metal Alchemist. And then I always have a hard time trying to watch those because I'm like, usually it's on as background while I draw, but then I know I'm gonna want to draw from the shows. So then I never start them. Same thing with movies sometimes. I'm like, no, I'm working on this piece, but if I start watching a Marvel movie, I'm gonna want to draw the characters. I think this chicken is gonna take numerous streams before it is done. I might have piled on too much right there. Shoot. Of course, my other plan too is to go back over this with acrylic markers and try to add like those little touches of detail. We'll see. Well, I'm gonna do that, but we'll see how this comes out. Oh, that's cool. That sounds like you got a whole fanfic going on there, or your own comic book going. That's a really cool idea. Well, what other animes are you watching, or have watched, or which ones are your favorites? That's gonna be super dark. Then the feathers under it should be super dark, right? That would just make sense. Favorite anime. What is your favorite anime? Or any new ones that you have been watching? definitely great to realize what freaking reference was I using for this little beak thing. I know there's an anime of the Suicide Squad out right now. I think it's on Netflix or Hulu. Oh, one of those. But it has piqued my interest. Oh. Did you ever watch was it just called Batman Ninja? One of the movies? I I want to rewatch that one for the style again. Like that was so cool. I will say though, my feelings are still kind of like on the edge of how do I feel about them doing these animated movies off of the comic, like the popular comic books. Definitely Full Metal, Sailor Moon was an early, Ronin Warriors, which came on after Sailor Moon in the mornings. Um, I liked the first season of Attack on Titans because once they start trying to explain it and the intrigue is gone about like this environment and what in the heck happened, it started losing it for me. I can follow along with the plot with the politics only so far before I'm done. And then I'm watching the end. Yeah, and now there's another movie. I'm like, can you just leave us alone? Like, why? But it was like the first season was so cool and so gross and amazing and like so much mystery and suspense. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Which that's another one I need to go back and rewatch. I remember loving that one. This does not look like giblets to me. And we started watching One Piece, the anime. I just finished the show. So then we started watching the anime, which I know there's like, some people are for the long version, some people are for the short version. And I'm like, you know what? We went through all these shows and all these filler episodes. Like, I am happy for the shorthand version. Thank you, Brotherhood. Thank you, Sailor Moon Crystal. Ooh, Eureka 7. I'll have to look that one up. Yeah, I feel like we put in our time with the older animes. I don't know if it counted it as an anime, but Blue Eyed Samurai was really good. I don't know if that qualifies as an anime or just a animation in general. Whew, these giblets, man. They are dark. I'm trying to do my best to stop or like to watch a show from beginning to end. That would have been amazing. That would have been nice. That's kind of how I felt. This may be this may be a hot topic, but that's how I felt the new Star Wars, The Force Awakens, The New Jedi. The New Jedi? The second in the sequel Star Wars movies when Finn at the end. I kind of wish they did it. Like they weren't doing his character any justice and it was just wasn't my favorite and I'm like, "Oh, I wish they had the guts to get rid of a main character like that." You know, now that you write that, I realize I was always more drawn to Mikasa anyways than I was the other two. That would have been so much better. Just oh, it's so good. Like there were some good WTF moments down the road, but it just wasn't worth the storyline. And now I'm just kind of I'm curious as to what in the heck this new movie is gonna be. Like I don't care, but I need to finish it because I've gone this far. It broke. You know what I think my problem is with these feathers is that they're too perfect. Well, the neck feathers do kind of look perfect, but they're not. I don't know. Just muttering to myself, really. That's true. I mean, it definitely kind of, I felt like re-energized that community, the anime community a little bit. Oh, The Boy and the Heron is now out. So that's another one to add to the list. Yeah, it'd also be nice to go through and rewatch a lot of the Ghiblis. I don't think I've seen Princess Mononoke since it first came out. All right, we are gonna try. Excuse me. We are gonna try the staff. I'm gonna try to do kernel, this corn kernel gem justice. Yeah, and with streaming services, it feels like there's something new coming out every hour, and it's just overwhelming. Like, I don't really have that ambition or drive to try new animes anymore. See, that one's on my list just because I've seen so many people talk about it. Yeah. And like once again, maybe because of the fact that, watching all those animes in the 90s, like I don't know how ready I am to go through a million filler episodes for like, maybe 15 minutes of story. I wonder if that could be categorized as like a new kind of trauma. I have childhood trauma and 90s trauma. I need to finish Chainsaw Man too. I think I was on like the third episode and just never picked it back up. It's terrible. Chicken wing, chicken wing. Kind of looks like a light bulb right now. We are going to make you into the most powerful corn kernel crystal ever. Yeah, I wonder if the new generation is going to pick up the anime craze. Oh, so it's this generation's like Dragon Ball Z. It's, is what I'm reading. See, every once in a while, I'll like go randomly to a spot with a color and go back over. Like once again, I have no method. I am pure madness. I just happened to see the feathers when I had this red in my hand, and I'm like, you know what? Let's add like a little more randomization and detail to these feathers on the outside. And then back to the corn kernel. Oh, that's true. Well, I appreciate the heads up on JJK. That one now I can kind of put more towards the bottom. You can be background noise. When you do work on your art, do you uh, have shows on the background? Like my sister and I are pretty, that's what we do. So it's always looking for that show that has enough substance where it doesn't put me to sleep, but yet not enough where I have to sit there and pay attention to it. For sure, I will definitely check it out. Then I will still keep it on my list, like higher up. Definitely got into a lot of like um cult documentaries, which are fascinating. Right? I'm not happy unless I have 20 things going, and I can't concentrate unless they're in front of me. I love the TikToks of like the artist sitting on the couch and they have like, almost all of their supplies just in case. Like, yes, I feel this. This is everything. This is me. I think I even did that yesterday. I was over at my parents' because we're Eagles fans and the game was on, and I had a bag of crochet. Plus, I had my iPad just in case while watching the game. Yeah, the iPads are always nice, just because they're so not volatile, but you can do a lot of things on them. So I feel like I'm at least packing different markers and supplies. Of course, I still haven't found my pen. I'm right now using my husband's pen, but mine went missing. I know the Munchkin was using my iPad for a little while, and that's when it kind of got misplaced. It's around here somewhere. Sorry about that. The one thing I know for sure is that dogs do not like to eat the iPad pens. So there's hope. Do, 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 do. This needs to be more yellow, I think. Something about creating that golden color. It's kind of difficult. Plus, I don't have all of my supplies up here because normally I'm set up in the basement. Decided to start streaming, so I'm moving everything into the art room, which isn't prepared for an onslaught of supplies. And I also don't know if this is how the setup's going to be. So I have what I have, and it's just going to have to work. So if you could work at your dream job or like dream location, what would it be? Japan would be amazing. I would have to go to the being a nomad would be nice. Especially owning a house. A nomad just appeals so much. If I ever get to Japan, oh my gosh, so many Pokemon places. And the Godzilla Hotel, and the Sailor Moon Cafe, and the Kirby Cafe. At least with Europe, like the travel isn't nearly as insane or intense as it is in the US. Like 3 hours, and I still haven't left my state. Oh man, I try so much food there. Like the more the more authentic, the better. Just to have these experiences. I'm gonna be so close to the ocean and try sushi, like super fresh. Oh, that's right. I put a flower there because a druid needs a flower. Yeah, living in the Midwest, even if it's from a restaurant, I look at the sushi like it's from a gas station. Like, it's not stopping me from eating it, but I am definitely sus of it. Try not to go anywhere just like afterwards, just in case. Or the what do they call it? The rotary sushi places where it spins around on the table and you could just grab it. That is so, oh, those are so cool. I know the US has a couple with like cheese and wine pairings. Branches, branches, making up some branches. 'Cause I've got a druid and they've got some magic. Oh, how doesn't it make it makes me so sad. I just wish things could be a little more fresh. Like I get why things need to get packaged and whatnot, but yeah, he can't be fresh. I definitely, if I could stop killing everything in the garden, would love to like grow fresh herbs and vegetables, especially mushrooms. I would love to be able to grow mushrooms. But we'll see. We will see. Where's our Alaskan? I bet. I bet. Yeah, even growing like herbs, like just herbs and spices. It's going to be interesting to see how my town may or may not evolve. Because I live in a bigger city, but it doesn't have a personality. So like all of our restaurants are brands, you want to go to Italian, it's Olive Garden. If you want chicken, it's KFC. Well, it was. We've lost KFC and we've lost Red Lobster, and there's not a lot of like local places coming up. So it'll be interesting to see if the town grows or if they just get like more commercial places. Ooh, love green onions too. I mean, those things, you put them on any dish and it just enhances it. And I don't know, I kind of like that they're so easy to chop up too. Like, I got my scissors, here we go. Look at that. I've upped my meal just by cutting some things. Which reminds me, I think I still have an onion in the fridge somewhere. Ooh, there you go. Aren't avocados supposed to be like the next gold currency? Like, I think due to the weather, they're not growing quite as frequently as they used to. Yeah, I wanted avocados, and there's something else. The vodka, not vodka, tequila. People are predicting that tequila. I mean, there's always those art the end of the world articles and whatnot, but they say the tequila shortage is going to be a thing. I can imagine. I mean, they've got to avocados grow in typically warm areas, if I'm right? Question mark. So to maintain that's got to be difficult depending on where you live. I think John Oliver was mentioning that there are people and farmers who are trying to grow uh, these these fruits and vegetables that, yeah, yeah, there's farmers that are trying to do that indoors, but they say because of the maintenance and then like the electric bill to keep that kind of tropical or sun all the time atmosphere. Atmosphere? That doesn't sound right, but I'm gonna go with it. I think you know what I'm talking about. Um, to keep that temperature up for them to grow, like ends up becoming more expensive than what it's worth. ever. Like I said, I think avocados were in danger for a little while there. I don't know if they still are. Habitat. Yeah, there you go. Habitat. We had somebody around the neighborhood in their concrete driveway, like just in the cracks of it, had one corn stalk growing out of it. It was so random and entertained me for hours on, like for no reason whatsoever. Just every time we passed by this house, I loved it. And then was really disappointed when they cut it down and got rid of it. Now, here's another funny one. So I've mentioned I can't keep plants alive. I kill succulents. Even when I'm trying to gently take care of a plant, I still manage to kill it. But daughter, my daughter, I'm like, where are we? September? Yeah, September. Hottest day of the year. Super gross, like 120. The humidity's off the chain. And she's like, let's go plant these year-old seeds. Like, sure, let's go. And we do. And this kid she's got some stalks growing already. Like, they're a good 3 inches growing out of the ground. I'm just like, ow, what in the world? What a difference. So I'm glad she's got the green thumb. Maybe she'll have to be the one to plant the fruit and the vegetables. We even had like random sunflowers growing in our yard, and I was like, "Oh, I'll be nice and cut the weeds away from you so you get more sunlight." And then they died shortly after. It's just like I was being nice. What what did I do? It's too funny. Yeah, she's gonna have to take over everything. The garden is her responsibility. And I don't have the heart to tell her, like, I don't know how well those plants are going to survive because I mean, eventually we're going to hit winter. We'll see. I think I think it's one of the whole US is going under a heat wave again. I don't know. Kind of hard to keep up with all the disasters. Yeah, no, we're still hanging out in the 90s. And it's like even without the humidity, once the sun hits you, it just feels like it's burning you. Miserable. All right, let's try to get some flowers going on this. Super leafy, super branchy, super naturey. Because this is a druid chicken. Did I just lose my purple? Oh my goodness, I think I did. First I couldn't find my dark red, and now I can't find like the purple I was using. The weather outside the sun. Yeah. The place we do not talk about. Okay, that is really starting to weird me out though. I did not put these pencils anywhere else besides like my general vicinity, and they're not to have disappeared. All right then. We're just gonna keep going. Yeah, I'm definitely a winter person. How about you? What is your favorite season? blue? Yeah, that's blue. Yes. My closet is just waiting with all the sweaters. Like, come on. I'm prepared. Ooh, that must have been gorgeous. Yeah, I have still have yet to see the Northern Lights. Like they have come down here. They at one night they were like super vibrant and bright, and I know they've reached down here a couple times, and I have missed it every single time. I know that either. I do really like it when we get um like the sleet that freezes on the trees, so you get that really cool. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you got to see them. I'm a little jelly. But with the way the atmosphere has been going, it's definitely sounds like it's going to happen more and more. So here's hoping. If not, then maybe one day I could just travel to Alaska. Stay in one of those like bubbles. Ah, there we go. Yeah, NASA has a neat website. If you do like NASA Aurora Borealis, it'll you can see like a 30-minute update so you can see where they're going to be and how vibrant. Because ironically, I keep forgetting to look at it at night. Oh, nice. Have you been up there? Okay, you know what? These eyes are starting to freak me out a little. Let's do these eyes. Good call. I've not yet seen a bear in person. Well, okay, I did, but it was running across a highway, so it was in a car. We definitely stopped because it was a baby, and it was like, okay, there might be a mom shortly behind. Just keep your eyes out. Oh, Druid Chicken, don't look so sad. Oh, wow. I'm not a runner, but I'd be with you. I'd be right there. Right there behind you. That flight or fight. At some point, my TikTok algorithm was all about the mountains and what you do and you don't do. And some people had their stories and you go in the comments and some people said I haven't seen anything, but it was still just kind of that idea where you scare yourself in reading about it. And skinwalkers. Skinwalkers showed up so much on my algorithm. I do like with streaming, looking up at the video and like the chicken, looking at the chicken from my point of view, I'm like, ah, this doesn't look the way I want it to. And then looking at it on the screen on the computer, I'm like, no, that looks about right. That's a solid strategy. That's a good idea. Not seen a moose, though we were driving through a mountain range to get to New Hampshire, and like moose sighting signs were all over the place. I was looking hard. I was really hoping. Yeah, I think this guy is going to be like a 2 or 3 day stream. We'll see. Oh wow, nature's kind of cool like that. Sometimes, as long as you're not directly food, it tends to like if you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. Even the raccoons. That's why I love having a bird feeder right here outside my window and can watch the hummingbirds and the other little birds and like their little society and how they interact with each other. One day I would like to find a hummingbird nest, like just as a challenge, because they're supposed to be so tiny and basically look like a little bundle of leaves. That is my lifelong challenge to try to find a hummingbird nest. Oh, that's good for it. That's wow. That would be a pretty scary experience. Just seeing an anaconda. Oh, that's cool. the Amazon is absolutely fascinating with all the wildlife and everything that grows there. Could you imagine? I know I how I react when I see a moth. Like nothing against it, but it's in my face. But one that big, oof. Oh, that's right. This thing's blocked. Yeah, that is exactly it. That is exactly. However, I am highly, highly arachnophobic, which is probably the only reason that would keep me out of there and keeps me out of Australia. Yeah, I would love to visit there. Just, man, the spiders would have me on edge, even if I don't see one. I would also love to learn how to surf. Yeah, surfing's been on my bucket list for a while. Like I don't care how old I am, it's gonna always be on there. Right? And I imagine the abs too, to have that kind of control. Kind of like snowboarding was always on my list as well. Like I tried skiing, but I'll tell you one thing, I am not graceful. And we were doing the class, pizza, fries, however they teach. And as soon as I got my second ski on, I immediately fell without moving. Wasn't doing anything. Just, I was like, well, we're done here. So after that, snowboarding was kind of on my list. What a cool chicken. Yeah, I want to do that. I bet. My husband got concussed one of his snowboarding, not snowboarding, he was skiing, one of his skiing trips. Yeah, it's one of those like darned if you do and darned if you don't, right? Because I mean, between the momentum and going over rocks and whatnot, you have to be pretty secure on the board, but you also want an easy detachment just in case something happens. Oh, you know what? We should make the flowers kind of, I don't know if the pencils are going to do it. We should have the flowers kind of glow a little. Yeah, I might have oversaturated the color. Ooh, Croatia is really pretty. Go see some of the places where Game of Thrones was filmed. Hey, that's how I climb Mount Everest. It's Google Maps. Kidding me? I'm not climbing that thing. Nor do I want to add to like the pollution problem they're having. Oh, that's a great idea. See, once again, all those resources that weren't available years ago. Never even thought about using it that way. But that's a great idea. That's right. All right, let's do. Not liking the way that's turning out. Let's work on this a little. Try to get more texture. Yeah, that's true. That's one of those we can't dwell too much on the past since it wasn't there. But like you said, it's here now. Let's use it. Tell you what, I would have used Chat GPT a lot for my homework, especially my math. That would have been really nice. Especially not trying to be rude, but it may even explain the why to the answer more than what my teacher did. I know. Like I feel I'm happy for them, but at the same time, just like a little part of me goes, oh. Like, why wasn't I that outgoing and that sure of myself at that age? Like, I know I was drawing, I just wasn't as like, sure-footed about it. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Rise, chicken, rise, chicken. Right? Yes. Yeah. That's all I got. I feel that and I completely agree with that. Like I said, it's definitely going to be interesting where those things that were, this is how you had to do it, this A, B, C, like written out storyline after high school. Like now that that's not the important thing. Oh, jeez. Chris, that also sounds like a youngin. Like, you're like, watch it, Fred. The cockiness and the self-assuredness are a powerful mix. Oof. Yeah, I definitely hope that we can manage the waters with our daughter and like you don't have to do things this way. You can find your own way. You have resources online that were not available. Oh, no, wait, that would make sense. Yeah, we'll do vines. Why didn't I think that? It's crazy. We're not using rope. We're going to use vines for this. Oh, that's awesome. That is so cool. Really, it is. When you're talking about something as broad as art and so many different personalities and ideas that go into it, you can't really say what's best or what's great or what's I don't know, it's hard to just be like this is what it should be. Like it could be everything and anything. And at the end of the day, it's what's important to you. Hey, and that's fine too. Like if it's ooh, dog's barking at something. If it's not something that is helping you or if it's getting you down, like it's not anything to really that you would have to pay attention on or can step away from this person, like, it's cool. I'll catch up with you later. For sure. I can totally see that. Man, I hope the toxic gamer, I mean, it'll never die, but I hope the presence goes away after time. Oh, hello. How's it going? Yeah, or like kick. Like kick is such an issue. the whole IRL streamer thing is it's so bothersome sometimes in what the content that's being produced. Well, welcome to the stream, friend. I'm currently making a Druid Chicken, all in a part of National Chicken Month. So I'm using Prismacolor color pencils, and yeah, yeah. Sometimes, are you thinking like on a stream or like a commission? I do have a goal to work with other streamers, like maybe do a side by side where if they're playing a game to draw art from that game. Just an idea floating around. I mean, I definitely wouldn't say no. Oh no, it just takes, it's practice. Like anything else in life, it's just practice. And nothing to be sad about. You draw how you draw. And if you don't want to draw, that's cool. You be proud of you. I think I started out, there used to be these really, really thick Disney like illustration books, and I started off tracing those. And then when we got a computer, oh, printed out so much Sailor Moon pictures to trace, and then started drawing on my own. Oh, I think they disappeared. I think they said bye. And also, that's okay. However, it is probably getting close to lunch break. Poof, right? Like a ninja. Vanish quickly without trace. See, and just like that, just quoting that, I was like, oh man, I would love to do some Teenage Turtle fan art. Like, I should go do that. I do love turtles though. I have like a set that's particularly popular, but I'm trying to like strengthen the branding to be more along the lines of animals, and then any pop culture thing I do is like a one time, here's an original. It's really hard. I feel like I'm fighting what my own brand is, which once again plays back into that like I'm still trying to figure out who I am and what I'm doing and and how to make that successful. That came out pretty. I don't even care if it looks like a vine or not. It's just a really pretty green looking. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I did. another streamer friend, Jen the Fierce, was playing Doom for the first time and just off screen, wasn't streaming or anything. I drew one of the demons from there and I'm like, this was fun. Like I don't even care to like once again, like they could put me tiny in the corner or something, but to do like a side by side like that, I think would be fun, especially and like beneficial for both streamers. Maybe that's the way these things go, like how streaming services are now starting to combine. Like maybe that's what streamer artists in any kind of streamer category should do to like up the game. All of us working together. Yeah, OBS is what I'm using right now, which also means eventually I have to build up, the screens, the be right back, or if I have to pause when a cat is walking across the screen. All those short little animations. Yeah, which ones again? I'm surprised they're not up here. They're probably, I put out more bird seed. They're probably watching chipmunks in front of the window right now. I've also tried building like random forts around the house for them so they could, be mentally stimulated because they say that's good for cats. And they still haven't been using them. One time, one time they got into the fort, and that was it. I'm gonna keep trying though. That's the thing. I'm not gonna stop. Yeah, it has been really, really nice doing this streaming thing and like actually staying honest and continually working on this. I think if I wasn't live, I would have been walking around or like, oh, let me go check this out. Oh, let me go check my mail. Oh, let me go distract myself, whether on purpose or on accident. So to just sit and do this and get far in it is just, it's amazing. And I appreciate you being here in chat this whole time. This has been very, very nice. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is definitely, I will definitely have to keep working on this. This is so cool. The hardest part is going to be making this into a sticker. I still haven't turned the puffin witch doctor into a sticker. No, not usually. Like ChatGPT? ChatG, yeah. Yeah, those are the yeah, no, not really. When I worked at a station and I needed prompts for like e-blasts and sometimes just for social media because you're kind of posting the same thing every day. I needed help with ideas. Definitely used it for my resume. But I mean, I that's all I use it for is kind of that baseline for ideas or a prompt to get started, but never to like write out the entirety of what I needed to do. Yeah, I definitely think there's room for AI. I mean, there has to be room, right? That's where we're headed. And there's definitely a role that it could fit to help things moving forward. I just where it is right now and how people are training it for, sex images and people becoming like quote unquote AI artists. Like why is it we take this good technology and we turn it for evil? I don't mind. I mean, honestly, I don't mind AI as like that same thing, as like a thought jump off process. Yes. I the lighting, yes. I've seen some and I'm like, I never would have thought about it in that way in a million years. So I do like that it can expand an idea or what you're working on. But yeah, the idea of these prompts and people saying I'm an artist, but I just wrote in some words, that part is a no. It's a huge no. And now the quote unquote AI artists are starting to take over like Comic Cons and have booths there. And I don't know how many times I've read stories where people would say, "Hey, that's AI art. You have it in your contract. They're not supposed to be here," and yet nothing's done. Plus, the more AI goes into this realm of replicating and learning from us, there's no protections for people. Celebrities can get photos of them taken down, no problem, but what about the everyday folks? So it's in that realm of scary. That stinks. It stinks when like things you work so hard for become underrated or undervalued. We just got to fight the good fight and keep going forward. Do what we can. Seriously. I think there was like a recent pushback of about AI stealing from artists. Of course it didn't make big news, but I swear I saw something about AI getting pushback for getting Indeed. But if we eat it together, what's that what's that quote from Has Been? We're all we're all in this together. It's cute. This songs are ridiculously catchy. Like I'm still playing them in the car. And that's another one. I started the other one, Hell of a Boss, and I still haven't finished that one. And that one I shouldn't have an excuse. It's only like 15-minute like shorts. Yeah. Same universe. I don't know people if they intersect or not. I haven't gotten that far, but yeah. Same universe, different stories so far. Dot dot dot. And season two's supposed to be coming out soon, and they've already announced they're working on like three and four. So the funny thing is the show is for adults, like not a kid show at all. Well, my kid, when she goes to bed, we let her listen to music, And if you're not paying attention, when her playlist is up, it'll go to like your next, like, hey, this is what I think you like to listen to, which has been Hotel sometimes, which would explain why she knows the songs. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad you like the song. We're not to repeat this word, this word, this word. Oh, and don't say this part. Also, don't tell your grandparents. Please don't sing this in front of your grandparents. And it's funny, cursing too is one of those like it was absolutely against the rules, and now I realize we've like you can't kind of fight it, right? Like you're eventually like the kid's gonna learn these curse words, so we try to like let her have her moment. Like, hey, if you're feeling mad, you need to yell a curse word, or you need to do that. Like, here's your safe spot to do that. Or she's been saying damn it a lot, and it's like, well, as long as it's in the right context and you're not saying it at school or in front of the grandparents. For me, mostly it's context. Like, just please be in the right context. We did let her watch the first Deadpool the other day because she got excited. She saw the commercials for the new one and she got excited about wanting to see it. And we're like, well, it's got a lot of language. And she goes, well, that's fine. I don't know what it is. Like, okay, fair. So I let her watch Deadpool, and it was kind of interesting watching it as a parent now because it's like, oh, when he curses, it's always like sandwiched in with some kind of reference that she absolutely doesn't get. So the curse words like don't even mean a thing to her. Oh no. Yeah, I feel like she would like Deadpool and Wolverine more than anything just because of the fight scenes. Yeah. Do, 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 do. Magic staff. So this is going to be a fun day. So I was originally for streaming, like this is the third stream I've done. So still trying to figure out setup and how things are going to go and what equipment I'm using and what's best. And today found out the computer I was going to use can't update its drivers, therefore couldn't do video. So now I get to wait on Edge until probably my husband, because he's IT, oh, to look at the other computer and say like, okay, this can't be fixed, or this can't be used for streaming, or just like, no, you overreacted. This it's fine. Either way, what it means is two rooms are going to have to be completely reevaluated and like restructured, which is going to be fun. Oh, I do like the way the staff is being lit. I really like that. Sometimes he watched a TikTok where people were using the Pasco markers, those big ones. He hasn't done that yet. He did originally go to school for game art, and I'm trying my best to encourage without being naggy, I guess. But you know how like sometimes if you're too close to a person, the stuff you say doesn't mean as much as coming from someone more outside. Kind of like my kid. Like the things we will say to her don't really matter until like a friend or a grandparent repeats it. But I'm trying to encourage him to pick that back up again. But yeah, he got into and then are we distracted a little? He got into drawing characters like with just the pastel markers and was actually did some really cool stuff with them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's a lurker. Um, okay, no, focus. Taryn, focus. Um, yeah, so he went to game art. That hasn't panned out. I know that's like a side. I know that's in the back of his head as like kind of a disappointment, but once again, as we've mentioned with all of these things that are available and all of these references and help, like I'd really love for him to get try it again and see where that goes. So we'll see. But mostly he hasn't done 3D. It's mostly been just drawing favorite characters and then painting models, which he really beats himself up over. But I'm like, he shouldn't. Like his models look pretty good. At least I think so. Me too. I think it would make him at least some kind of joy, right? I think. I'm sure at this point in time, there's probably like that fear of failing, like trying to pick it back up again and then think that you're not good at it. But like I said, also like it could I don't want to be the nag and I don't want to like discourage him by trying to encourage. It's a hard journey. So thank you, Pesto Mystic. Aren't you supposed to be working? So yeah, the poor guy. Just the idea. Yeah. See, right? Yes. 100%. A lot it's just taking those first steps to do that. They're scary steps, but man, they're the most crucial. And then you really start to learn and you start to go down that path and yeah. Yeah. 100%. So we'll see. Maybe I'll try to I'll try some I'll try to bring it up today. I know with the resources available, of course, my idea brain was like, "Hey, we could do a game with the wizard frog." Like, absolutely. That's just a few hours project. That won't take long. So maybe if I mention something like that, that'll get his light bulb going and maybe an idea to go check it out. Or I could pretend to try to learn programming and start to ask him a bunch of questions. Maybe that'll reignite. It sure did. It sure did. Like, failing is a great way to learn. Heck yeah, I would appreciate that. Yeah, failing is super okay and awesome. Like man, the 80s parents. And whatever happened to them? I feel bad for the parents too. So Pesto, are you able to talk or are you working? You're just lurking while lurking. So can you hear me? Is I guess my question. Probably not if you're lurking. Dun dun dun. Super quiet secret voice. What am I doing? I just distracted myself. Goodness gracious. That's right. We're making a totally awesome chicken druid staff. That'd be really freaky if like chickens were really druids in real life. Dun dun dun. Chicken druid. No problem. Holy cow. Just turned on my phone and there were tons of notifications from Facebook. Like, what? Oh, it's a bot. Oh, that is one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why I took commissions down off of just off online in general was just dealing with bots. Oh, ew. I got a message about parent council stuff too. Oh, that's too much adulting. Oh, I can't do it tomorrow either. Or tomorrow. What's gross. Gross, gross, gross. I don't want to indulge stuff. Okay, back to the drawing though. Back to my magical world of magic chickens. This chicken has magical powers, and it will make some baby little chickens to go eat you. Yeah, that's all I got. Pew, 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 pew. That looks like a staff. This is the I don't entirely hate this picture phase. Not yet, at least. Haha. Look at that. If I really want to, I should make this really dark just to really pop it off. Well, friends, I think once I finish adding the details on this, I am going to call it a day. My stomach's been bothering me for a while, and it's getting hungry. When we should not deny thy stomach, which ironically, I have chicken wings for lunch. Uh, so, yeah, once I finish adding some of this detail on here, I am going to call it a day. Oh, that does look really cool. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with that. I like that stuff better than the twigs holding up the cape here. Okay, let's see. I know you guys went into lurker mode and stuff, but I am gonna go take a lunch break. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for chatting with me. It's been very, very nice, as I've said. So thank you. I will be sure to check out your streams, and everybody have a great day. Oh, perfect. I will hang around for half for a second. Let's see. Mantra for creative thinker. Perfect. No, thank you for joining me. Like I said, it was awesome to chat, and I will look forward to talking to you later. Everyone have a great afternoon. Enjoy the sun and, you know, stay happy and healthy. Right? Bye.